Remember the state of gaming at the start of 2005? The PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox were all nearing the end of their days in the sun, preparing to join the poor Dreamcast in gaming's past. The year slowly passed on until BAM! On November 22nd, 2005, the Xbox 360 launched a full year ahead of the upcoming Wii and PlayStation 3. 15 years later, with the Xbox One being soon gone, we look back on the 7th generation of consoles with affection, some of us even considering them to already be a kinda retro. Speaking of retro, here's my review for Perfect Dark Zero, one of the 360's launch titles. I didn't know how to transition topics there. Perfect Dark Zero, the prequel to Perfect Dark on the Nintendo 64, is a game which, to put it softly, hasn't aged all too well. This isn't due to a lack of quality though. This intro cinematic may absolutely reek of 05-ness, but it sets the mood really well. Also, Joanna Dark's outfits in this game are always so stylish. Hashtag Yas Queen. Starting with how the game looks, I'm already a bit confused. I can't tell if the graphical style is trying to be realistic, cartoonish, or a mix of both. At times, the environments and texture work look well done for 2005, and some of the extra effects, like the haze caused by firing the sniper rifle, add cool little visual flares. Other times though, I get the feeling the visual artists kinda rush things. This rock looks like a moldy testicle. Notice the movement characters make? The movements also look a bit rushed and occasionally janky. Voice acting and sound design fits the game, though there are a few instances near the end where the mixing is pretty atrocious.
You okay?
Sure. I got a fractured shoulder, a mission in pieces, and I think he just busted my ego.
The music is fitting and has that spy type feeling, even if it doesn't exactly attain any sort of I want to listen to this after I'm done playing status. The actual gameplay is merely a standard FPS. The controls are responsive, but I always felt like Joanna was walking around with chains attached to her legs. Obviously, a shooter from 15 years ago isn't going to be nearly as fast and fluid as those of today, but it was annoying when things started going to shit and Joanna just sort of meanderingly walked from place to place. There's no sprint button. What? Your weapon loadout is restricted to a maximum of 3 weapons, sometimes dropping to 2 if you decide to pick up one of the larger weapons like a sniper rifle or an automatic rifle. Actually picking up a weapon in the middle of a firefight can be frustrating though, as the register point for your button press is extremely small, and, for some reason, every time Joanna gets hit, she stunts backwards a tiny bit. I cannot begin to tell you how annoying this is. If I was hit by, say, a high caliber weapon or an explosion, I'd totally get it. But even little pistol shots will make Joanna stumble. Being a spy, Joanna naturally has a few handy gadgets she gets to use. The Loctopus to unlock stuff and a handheld explosive device being among them. These gadgets definitely do their job, but never prove useful outside of scripted events. You won't be using your explosive charge to get some creative kills or take shortcuts through the level, for example. Speaking of levels, the ones in this game are pretty damn short. Remember playing the original Doom or the first 2 Quake titles? The levels in those were pretty short too, but we didn't really care as the gameplay was so fast and fluid, but kept us entertained. Due to the slower, no sprint button having gameplay in Dark Zero, however, you notice the brevity of these levels. The last one is literally just the final boss, who also looks like a moldy testicle.
And the statues of our gods become dust.
Not that there isn't any fun to be had in the levels though. Piloting a hovercraft is pretty dope. Naturally, all of what I've just talked about is linked together by the story, and oh dear, the story. Perfect Dark Zero is set in 2020, where a large percentage of the world is controlled by corporations. Huh. Joanna Dark is a young ancient Datadyne and has just completed her training, going after a scientist who has been captured by some shady people working for a sentient raisin.
This is natural selection.
His daughter is literally named Mayhem.
Mayhem! Combat combat is not combat at all without the threat of death, the song of pain!
Because, as a scientist puts it,
He's trying to ransom me and my research off to...
I told you I'm thinking.
one dead scientist, a second dead scientist, a dead father, and one betrayal later, Joanna finds herself fighting for the future of the very world.
The energy readings coming from the Colosseum are off the scale. Zhang Li's powered up the Graal.
The summary may give a few hints of awesomeness, but the story is crammed into a mere 13 missions and things simply happen too quickly, with no time given any sort of real character development or player connection to what's happening in-game.
You guys made a big mistake.
I was initially invested, but quickly found myself bored with the story and just simply wanting to finish the level and move on to the next.
I could use an aspirin. So, boss, how'd I do?
Perfect.
Perfect Dark Zero also has online multiplayer, but trying to get a match going on in 2020 simply isn't going to happen. I was able to do a solo game with a few bots on one of the maps just to kind of see how the whole thing would work, and it's nothing all too special. I imagine the multiplayer was a bit popular upon initial release, but the map layout isn't too interesting and the setup before you spawn is just too complicated.
We got incoming ground targets. Defend the dropship.
As a launch game for the Xbox 360, it's inevitable Perfect Dark Zero would be compared to Halo Combat Evolved, the big launch title for the original Xbox. Keeping it short, Halo was the better launch title. Perfect Dark Zero earns a 6.8 out of 10.
Non-essential personnel. GOC's going for launch!
Hello everyone, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you haven't yet, be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the little bell next to it so you'll always be notified whenever I upload new videos. I don't really have a set schedule, honestly. I try to put out a review every 2 weeks, but they kind of just arrive when they're finished. Also, if you would like to help support the channel even more, why not consider becoming a patron on my Patreon? For literally just $1 a month, less than the price of a cheeseburger, you can help support one little panda and their dreams of doing video game related stuff on the internet, because that's such an original idea. Okay, thanks, bye!